Imagine stepping into the grandeur of the Sistine Chapel, where the very air feels charged with centuries of awe and reverence. Before you, spanning the vast altar wall, is Michelangelo's masterpiece, The Last Judgment. As you move closer, you sense the immense scale of the fresco, its towering figures unfolding like a celestial drama, encompassing the fate of humanity in a single, monumental vision. At the center of this cosmic narrative is Christ, poised in a dynamic moment of divine authority. You can feel his presence commanding the scene, his powerful right arm raised, not in a gesture of mercy, but in judgment. His body is muscular, the embodiment of divine strength, as though every fiber of his being radiates justice. The expression on his face is stern, implacable, his eyes gazing forward, indifferent to pleas. Around him, there is an aura of unyielding light, a radiant sphere from which everything else seems to orbit. It is as if his very presence shifts the air, pulling you into the tension between salvation and damnation. Encircling Christ is a throng of saints and angels. They hover in a swirling dance of devotion and intercession, their forms robust yet ethereal. These figures, with their distinct expressions and gestures, reach toward Christ, some pleading for mercy, others exulting in his divine will. Among them, the Virgin Mary stands close to her Son, her posture slightly withdrawn, embodying both grace and sorrow. There's a sense that even she, the Mother of God, is awed by the power of the moment. Now, below Christ, the fresco descends into darker, more chaotic scenes. This is where the emotional tide shifts. You can almost hear the groans of the damned as they are pulled toward the abyss. Writhing bodies twist and tumble in tortured contortions, their faces etched with terror and despair. Imagine the sensation of falling without end, a vertiginous pull of gravity dragging these souls into the depths of hell. The demons, grotesque in form, are merciless as they grab the damned, dragging them into a landscape of fire and darkness. The very texture of this part of the fresco feels jagged, sharp, as if the air itself is filled with the heat of eternal punishment. In contrast, on the other side of the scene, the blessed ascend into the heavens. These figures are lighter, their bodies lifted by a divine wind. You can almost feel the lightness in their limbs, the release of their burdens as they rise towards salvation. Their faces glow with a quiet joy, an inner peace that contrasts starkly with the agony below. Angels guide them upwards, their wings outstretched, their hands reaching out in welcome. The upper part of the fresco feels expansive, as if the heavens themselves are opening, drawing these souls into eternal light. The entire fresco is teeming with movement. Every figure, every gesture, every gaze is part of this cosmic dance between salvation and damnation. The muscles of the figures are taut, their bodies sculpted as if they were carved from marble, yet they move with fluidity, caught in the eternal moment of judgment. The colors, though unseen, pulse with intensity, deep blues and fiery reds clashing like the forces of heaven and hell. The emotions that ripple through the fresco are overwhelming. There is fear, hope, despair, and redemption, all swirling together in a single unified composition. You can feel the weight of history and eternity pressing down, the knowledge that this moment captures the ultimate reckoning of humanity. Michelangelo's The Last Judgment is not just a painting. It is a living, breathing narrative, a spiritual storm that draws you in and leaves you standing on the precipice of eternity, feeling the full force of divine justice and mercy.